Hey there friends, welcome back to our sixth and final video, Begin with Books. And I know that this might seem like a strange topic to end our literacy picnic instructional videos on, but let me just point out, this is the biggest concept to take home. If you take anything home from these videos, I want it to be this. So before we go too much further, I just want to take a moment to say that we have an incredible special guest reader in our Read Aloud video. Her name is Mrs. Stevens. She is a wonderful second grade teacher, and someday I hope to be as good at reading books as she is. So please make sure that your kids get to go watch that video. They're gonna have a wonderful time listening to her read The Book with No Pictures by BJ Novak. Sharing books with kids is by far the best way to develop print motivation. When children associate books with caring adults, they are much more motivated to become readers themselves. Exploring books together also supports brain development, builds language, and encourages positive adult-child relationships, as well as sets the stage and the foundation for a lifetime of learning. So the way that you would approach supporting print motivation for different age groups varies, so we're going to go over that starting with infants. When working with babies, go ahead and look for books with bold designs, pictures, and photographs. Babies are especially drawn to pictures of faces because this is something that's familiar for them. They're also drawn to familiar objects and items, things that you probably have around the house. If you could have a picture of whatever is right next to them, as well as in front of them, they will be more drawn to it. Some other things that you can do to support print motivation for babies is to use books to soothe them. Use a soft sing-song voice to tell the story as you cuddle. Prop up board books for your babies to look at during tummy time. And you should definitely also offer books made out of safe materials for babies to explore with all of their senses. Of course, this means that those books will get slobbery. That's okay. Let them explore it. Alright, so now we get to talk about print motivation in toddlers. Really big thing here. I see a lot of my friends going through this and wondering why they can't get their kids to sit through a whole book. Kids aren't always going to want to sit through a whole book, and that's okay. If they just want to read a page or if they want to flip through the pages themselves, that is completely okay. This still encourages print motivation, and trying to sit them down and force them to do it is not going to teach them to like it. So if they get up and walk away, that's okay. Sometimes they just want to flip through a page before they're off to something new. This is another big one. Be ready to read the same book over and over again. When kids start to develop a favorite book, they'll want to hear it time and time again, back to back. This can help deepen their understanding. I do not know how many times I have read this book in sequential order. I think the most so far in my classroom has been 6. You will read your favorite books over and over and over again, and they will eventually not only memorize this, but they will start to explain different parts to you. And you might even get to catch them take those books and read it themselves, not knowing how to read yet, but having memorized what the pages look like. This is hugely beneficial, so be ready to read over and over and over again. Also make sure that you pause frequently and allow time for kids to talk, ask questions, or point things out. Sometimes they'll notice something halfway through the 4th or 5th reading that they didn't get before, and that is something that you can actually use to monitor that they are developing. They are starting to recognize new things. Those skills are building. So if they want to talk in the middle of a book reading, that's okay. Let them, encourage it. See what they've noticed, see what they want to talk about. This is building their development and building their understanding. It's also important for them to understand nonfiction books, so if you do have those available, make sure that you read those as well. They may not seem as interesting at first, but I can guarantee you this, especially with preschoolers, anything that you are genuinely interested in, they will be genuinely interested in. These books are an association to their relationship with adults that they love. And if you love something, guarantee they're gonna love it too. So now we're gonna be moving into my neck of the woods, preschool. So what you can do to support a preschooler's print motivation is you can definitely make sure that the books that you are reading align with the child's interests. If that child likes dinosaurs, go all the way down the dinosaur alley, buy like 72 dinosaur books. Not saying you have to, but anything that they are interested in, dive into. If you find a book that they're not super interested in yet, maybe set it to the side, come back to it later. They'll develop a new understanding of it at another time. But right now, whatever they want to be interested in, dive into it. This is also a wonderful time in their life that you can encourage other forms of literacy and cognitive functioning. You can introduce alphabet and number books. You can introduce all different kinds of concept books, wordless books where they get to tell you what the story says based on what's going on in the picture. That is a huge way to build narrative skills and print motivation. One of the biggest things for reading to make it enjoyable for kids is also to make it interactive. So you can do this by taking what's called the CAR approach, which is where you comment on what the child seems interested on and wait for them to respond. Ask them open-ended questions and see what they come up with, and then repeat and respond to whatever the child says. So if they say, "Oh, that bucket is blue," look at the picture and say, "That bucket is blue." And you can add a little bit more information to it too. "That bucket is blue and it is very full." This is called the CAR approach, and it will help make all of your reading interactive. Speaking of cars, take books when you go run errands with your kids. If you are at the store and there is a long check stand line, go ahead and read them a book while you wait. This is amazing because this also will allow them to associate books with everything that they see in the world. They are going to be able to see the letters and the numbers on the books, look around, and have print awareness of letters and numbers that are helping us through our day-to-day. This is where nonfiction starts to become interesting for children. Lastly, and one of the funnest things in my opinion, is create books out of the works that they've done. If they've drawn a bunch of pictures, ask them what those pictures say, and then staple them together with others while writing a story underneath, and read the story of their pictures, their creation. This will get so much buy-in from them, and this will likely become one of their favorite books for a while. And that is it, friends. Thank you so much for watching all of our instructional videos. Pop on over to where we have our special guest reader, Mrs. Stevens, reading The Book with No Pictures by BJ Novak. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day.